I think I just watched the greatest episode of NXT of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, this was quite possibly the greatest NXT episode of all time. And that is saying something. That is saying something because, again, thinking back to the black and gold and, and all the eras of NXT, the episode I watched last night, daggone it, that might have been my favorite NXT episode of all time. Oh my God. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. They started off with Sexyy Red came out, bow, bow, bow. She was doing her Sexyy Red thing, and I'm watching it the whole time, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, okay, Sexy, don't go too far, okay? All right. And look, I enjoy Sexyy Red, okay? Like, I have an 8-year-old, and I don't want her behaving like Sexyy Red, but Sexyy Red is a more mature person's level of entertainment, okay? Like, you gotta, you should be a little older to enjoy Sexyy Red's brand of entertainment. But she looks like she's so much fun. I would love to have a party and be in the party with Sexyy Red because I guarantee she's gonna turn up, and she turned up on NXT, and it was fun, man, because she came out there and she clearly looked like she belonged, right? She looked like she belonged. And you see so many celebrities that come into the world of WWE or pro wrestling on, any platform, and they feel awkward. They don't quite get the concept of interacting with the wrestlers. They don't know how to still be themselves or whatever their public persona is and have it mesh perfectly into the show we're watching. But damn it, Sexyy Red nailed it. She nailed it. She came out there, she was Sexyy Red, and she unveiled the NXT North American Women's Championship. That was big. Ava introduced her. She came out, she was popping it, twerking on the way down to the ring, and I was like, woo! I was like, look, man, I know in the truck, I know they got their finger just hovering over that dump button. They're like, dog, please, sexy. They're like, sexy. I know. This is probably one of those moments where Shawn Michaels was, sitting there doing his thing, but he was probably sweating. He was like, okay, look, I'm trying to make this show real black, and I just need y'all to not mess this up. and damn it, Shawn, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. I'm sitting there watching this show last night, and I keep thinking of just the words of the homie Sloan. He said, earmuffs, kids, the hood fuck with pro wrestling. And that is all I could think about as I was watching the show, okay? The hood fuck with pro wrestling, and pro wrestling fucks with the hood, okay? Apparently, and I give such credit to Shawn Michaels because he has found this balance. And you know what? Maybe it's not him. Maybe he's just listening to the black people around him, but he has found a balance of a way to present these characters, right? And present these situations in a way that doesn't feel pandering. It feels natural, right? Like for such a long time in wrestling, black characters could only be a couple of things, right? You had to be like, you had to either be like a buffoon, right? Like a straight comedy character, or you had to be like, your dancing, sexy guy, or like your dancing entertainer or whatever, something like that. Or you had to be, let's not forget, you could always be a street guy. You could be some sort of gangster or thug or something like that. But NXT has found a way to cast black characters in roles that just feel like natural people. And it's working. It's working. Trick Williams, right? Former athlete, clearly a cool ass dude, right? Like it oozes through the screen that Trick Williams is just a cool ass dude, and they're just letting him be that, right? They're just letting him be that. They're not asking him to go over the top and be, you from South Carolina, right? Be a pimp. Be a pimp from South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, they're not asking him to, do anything that is a caricature of a black person. He's just being himself, and it is working, baby. It is working. It's working. The metaphor, right? The metaphor, all completely different types of characters, but they got their own flavors, their own swag, and you can't label it specifically to say the metaphor is this, but they're all fun their personalities play off of each other and they work so well, right? Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, right? Like, again, they're not stereotypes of any sort of mold, but they're just them. And, they're athletes and they're beautiful and they got sass and personality and all the things that jump off the screen. And I just got to give so much credit to Shawn Michaels because he's not trying to force them into an easily definable, easily consumable box, right? That, let's just say, a larger audience will recognize. And it's working. It is working. Last night, when we saw Trick Williams and the homie Javon and Sexyy Red together, I was like, dog, this works. Like, this looks like they should be a team. I was like, man, Trick Williams, you better not do too well with this tag team wrestling because they gonna call you and Javon up as a tag team because that just looked like that worked too well. And then speaking of the other things that happened on that show, okay, we had Roxanne Perez come out and Ava said she was going to show Roxanne her challenger for the next big NXT show, and lo and behold, it was Jordynne Grace. Oh my goodness, that was a moment. That was a huge moment. And by the way, when Jordynne Grace came out, the NXT arena shook with the applause. The NXT arena popped crazy for Jordynne Grace, and they were chanting Jordynne Grace. And you know what else they were chanting? They were chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. So listen, we are past the nobody watches TNA days, okay? Now the problem is the TNA built up a very good buzz and they fumbled it like crazy. As of January, TNA had a very good buzz. Here we are in May, almost June, and they have completely fumbled that buzz. But Jordynne Grace showed up in the Royal Rumble and she looked and felt like a star. She didn't seem like the moment or the scene was too big for her. And then again, we saw her on NXT standing across from Roxanne Perez, and she did not look or seem like the moment or the arena was too big for her. Give it up for Jordynne Grace. I'm excited for you. Bigger and better things are on the way. And listen, if you're TNA, I said this back in January, if you are TNA, use Jordynne Grace while you have her, baby. Use her while you have her, because once that contract is up, she is gone. Gone. Another thing that I just been noticing about NXT that I love so much. I mentioned that Sexyy Red revealed the NXT Women's North American Championship, and we got more qualifying matches for the multi-woman match at the next big NXT event for that championship to crown the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. And the people I think that I saw tonight was it was Kalani Jordan and Ren Sinclair, and then there was another match, but Jada Parker. Oh, it was Mia Yim and someone who I can't remember right now. But then Jada Parker came out to do commentary during the Mia Yim match, and I was like, man, the thing that I love so much and the thing that I appreciate so much about NXT is they are creating female characters and they're just wrestling characters. I love that. There's no hot girl. There's no Mandy Rose, okay? I don't say that really to diss Mandy Rose, but just the simple fact is that these women are being asked to be wrestlers. I love it, and it's my absolute favorite thing about it. So NXT is cooking right now. This week, NXT is probably the best show that WWE is doing. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. What did you guys think of NXT this week? Let me know. Drop it down in the comments.